Good morning, and it's day one basically of me filming. So everything's going to be raw. Nothing's going to be perfect. So let's see how it goes. Just finished off my my breakfast this morning, which was a really nice shake smoothie that I've done through NutriBullet. Absolutely loving the NutriBullet. So not bigging up anything, but NutriBullet's where it's at. So off to the Thames this morning. Woke up a little bit late, really tired. Stayed up till late messing around and tinkering with things. The time is just coming up to 25 to 9. I've got to get my skates on. I've got to at least be at this flat about 9 o'clock. I'm meeting Jack around 10 o'clock time. Got to pick up some maggots and that. Heading off to the Thames today. We have fished the Thames about three times, I think it is, using lures and that. But this time round we're going to try something a little bit different, and we're going to try some bait fishing. So we're going to try and catch some live baits. I've got the live bait container with me, little whip. I'm just going to try and bang out as many little, not as many, but a little handful of some minnows or roach or whatever will be perfect live bait to use. So you've got to keep messing around, but I'm sure we'll show you some of that later on. We're going to be targeting the Kingston area today. Sorry about the voice. We've been up there lure fishing last time round, and that was really good. Didn't have nothing big, but I had quite a few snack size perch on tiny spinners and drop shotting and that type of thing, and that would have made maybe an interesting video. But we had some real good fun up on the shallows. That was really good around them areas. We've also fished Hampton Court, but today we're going to head back to Kingston, and we're going to work our way round to Tennington, maybe Richmond area. So we're kind of concentrating between them stretches today to see how it goes, really. Got all the tackle, getting the rest of the tackle ready into the bags, and then I have to shoot off. But stay tuned, and hopefully we'll have some fish for you later, or you know, just to have a general catch up as to what's going on. Maybe show you some of the rigs that we're using. I'm going to be tweaking things as I go along, so we'll see how it goes. But catch you a little bit later. Okay, so not quite there at the moment. Just outside our local, just getting some maggots for live baits in Surrey Keys. So I'm just by the lake in Canada Water at the moment. Jack's running just to grab some bait and that, and then we're going to set off again. It's been an absolute nightmare trying to get here today, but I just can't wait for us to get there and do some fishing. It'll probably take us about another hour, but once we're there we'll be able to get on with the fishing and then go from there, really. So catch you in a bit.
So here I am at Waterloo Station. It's been a nightmare trying to get here, but we're finally on our way. It shouldn't take us too much longer to get there now, so probably another half an hour, and then hopefully we'll be fishing. But just going to stop off for a bite to eat, and I'm just mega excited. I just can't wait to get started. So let's get on with it, eh? Right, so we're finally on the train and we're on our way to Kingston. It's our third trip. We've done lure fishing before, and this is our first live bait session. We can't wait to get down there. I've done so much homework on this place, trying to find out the different spots and where things have come from. It's very secret squirrel on the internet, but we both can't wait to get there. So have you got any expectations for today, Jack?
Hopefully something from that would be nice after trips with the lures and whatnot.
I think that's a good chat. I mean, we know that there's some big monsters in there, and we know that they go over five pounds, leading up to what suspectedly can be the record that was weighed on a boat. Now, at the end of the day, we don't know if we're going to get into some larger fish. We're not there for the larger fish to start with. What we're there is to try and find the fish. It's such a big river, it's going to be really hard to locate them. So hopefully what we can do is find a little gap somewhere where we can slot in. There's loads of little nooks and crannies, and hopefully we can start getting ourselves on the fish. So what we'll do is, we've got a little bit more of a journey to get there, but it's been nightmares getting there, but I think that both me and Jack can maybe hopefully put a couple of smaller fish on the bank. But if we do get a big one, it'd be fantastic. But we're not holding out any expectations. But so what do you reckon? Do you reckon catch a live baits first and then rig up, that type of thing, and have a look at the situation of what swim we're in?
Definitely get the live baits first, have a little look around and see what we can find.
Bang on, mate. We've got plenty of maggots, so we'll give it a go and see how we get on. So here we are. Really started fishing, rigged up. Got a little live bait perch out at the moment. Jack's gone and caught himself a little bait. I'm fishing on a paternoster at the moment. 8-pound line with a little 5 gram bob, and a 6-pound bottom with a 6-pound hook link. Now, some people might say it's a little bit heavy. I personally think with a deep river like this, it's got a little bit of colour on it. I think also with there being pike and zander present, I think it's a good thing to try. But Jack's doing something a little bit different, and he'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But he's using slightly lighter tactics and slightly smaller rods. He's a little bit worried about hooking a pike, but I think he would probably still be able to land it. But we'll have a little chat with him, like I say, and see what he has, his thoughts and feelings. He's just sort of setting up at the moment. I'm sitting here just trying to catch some more live baits, just seeing how hard or easy it can be. Jack says there's a little bit further down that he was getting loads of little bites on single maggot, so I'm finding it a little bit more difficult up this end. But yeah, just trying to see how it goes at the moment. Find a little touch then, but we'll keep you updated as to what's going on. Hope we get some banging perch, but if not, I've got a banging head because I've got a really banging headache. But just reset that. We'll come back to you a little bit later and I'll actually show you the rig I'm using. It's the first rig that I use anywhere. It's a go anywhere rig. I've caught on it before. I might do some tweaks, I might do some changes. It's just the first time I'm using it over this place. So let's get on and try and catch some more live baits and see if we can pull ourselves the first perch that you'll soon hear about if we do. So Jack's just had his first perch on his new rods, little 9-foot perch rods. How's it feel, Jack, on those rods?
Nice, nice.
How big's a perch? It's only a small one. Yeah, what we did is we was talking about, because we saw some fish actually, there we go. We saw some fish, didn't we? We saw them jumping out the water. Looked like they was being chased by something. So Jack's gone a little bit deeper.
Straight away.
And I went a bit shallower, and he went straight away. He missed the first run, left it, and then it took it again. So, you know, hopefully we can find a formula to start catching these fish. Because I was convinced the first fish, and I've been saying it for the last 5-10 minutes, was going to be a pike. But obviously Jack knows different. So, how's that feel, Jack?
Good. Nice to get the first one on live bait.
Fantastic. Right, onwards. Get another bait out there, mate, and we'll try and catch another one.
See if the bigger ones are there.
Wicked. Okay, so I'm in a bit of a pickle at the moment. Trying to catch live baits, and I've just actually hooked a nice little perch on on a pole rig. I'm going to attempt to try and pick it up. Jack's gone for a walk to go and try and find somewhere to go to the toilet. This might come off. Oh, that was lucky. That was caught on a single white maggot on a size 20 hook on a pole rig. There he is, the little offending perch. It's not massive, it's tiny. Trying to catch live baits, and I've just hooked this tiny little perch on a, like I say, on a little pole rig. So, like I say, Jack's just walked off. I'm trying to catch loads of baits to put in the live bait container because at the moment it's overcast, and I think there's going to be lots and lots of fish starting to turn on. We're starting to see a lot of fish jumping at the moment and chasing loads of small fish on the surface. Jack's also had another fish take just after he put that one back. Hooked something, played it for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds and it came off. So she's going to put this one little back and hopefully try and catch some more live baits. See, that's where all the fish have been taken. We're going to have a couple I thought we'd have a couple from now. I'm reluctant to stay here. We're actually fishing a white thing, but the thing is, we don't know when we top. We don't know when it closes. Then we're fucked. Yeah. Unless we move along, so we have to decide what we do. I think we should sit it out here and then decide if it does get dark and we want to move around there, then we can do it. If it goes quiet, but get a bait out and see how it goes, yeah? Jack's got a nice fish on. It's not massive. He's got a nice perch on. He's playing at the moment on his new rods. Same rods as he's got as me. They're 9-foot Fox specialist rods, primarily for perching. Absolutely brilliant. Just while he's playing his fish, to let you know, I've just lost a good zander. Probably between 5 and 8 pounds. Didn't even know it was on. I was pulling my rig in, thought I'd hook bottom, and yeah, threw the hook, and we saw the flank, the green flank flash. And it was definitely zander, wasn't a pike. So it's bite time at the moment. Sun's gone down. Jack just landed his fish. Caught him in the red on the camera. That was going, so probably going to cut off any minute now. We've only got 1 minute left, so I'm just going to turn it off now, and I'll update you guys later if I get any fish with some photos or something. But there we go, just get close up to Jack's fish.
Hook come out in it.
Nice.
So you want it?
Well done, boy. So I'll update you guys later.
Let's get on.
Hello, so I thought I'd show you the rig that I was using yesterday. Basically I started off with a Paternoster rig and I changed over from the Paternoster. The Paternoster, I'm not 100% happy with it at the moment. For my pike fishing, yeah. For zander fishing, yeah. But my perch fishing, I'm not happy with it. It seems to be that every venue I go to, it underperforms how I want it to perform. So what I've done is I've just showed you, or I'm going to show you a basic free roving live bait rig that I would say you can take anywhere, a take anywhere rig. So I'm just going to show you it now. Okay, this is the float. These are Drenham floats. This one is a 5 gram ball bob float. It's one of my favourites for perch fishing. There are other types. You can get the Zeppa, you can get the Piker, which is a slimmer version. And I think they're all equally as good as each other, but I like the bobber one. I just find it holds the bait up a lot better. Now if I find that the perch are having a bit of problem with resistance, then I will change over to something a bit more slimline. But in the meantime, I find this one is adequate enough. Okay, I'm using 8 pound mainline and I'm using a 6 pound bottom. Okay, now on the hook side, I've tried all different hooks, all manner of hooks. This one here, I don't know if you can see that. It's a B96, not a B981, and I've used these for many years for perching. It's a barbless hook. There's a bit of controversy on the old barbless. People say that barbless fishing, you know, the baits can get off. Yeah, you can put maybe a little piece of rubber over the top once the bait's on, something like elastic band cut up. You can get a special wormed attachment, so it's like a little round thing you pull onto the hook with a little tag on, so you can pull it on and off as many times as you want really, and that'll just keep the live bait on. I personally like to lip hook my live baits, because if I don't catch a fish I can lip hook them. It's done them minimal damage and you can let them swim off. There's a little bit of controversy, like I say, live baiting, because live baiting is obviously you're offering a live fish to another fish, but I'm not going to go into that. It's something I've always done. As much as it might sound a little barbaric to a degree, I actually enjoy watching the float go under, and I like watching the live bait work. So, you know, I get as much fun from it as I do my dead baiting. So as I said, 8 pound line, 6 pound bottom. I'm using a tiny swivel and just a running bullet. Now, again, there's controversy. People, you're probably sitting at home who live bait, say, oh, I don't do it like that for this reason. Yes, when a live bait swims up, the bullet can go down. I understand that. I can tweak it when I need to. I can put a split shot on now. Again, I think putting a split shot on weakens it. That's my opinion. I'm not saying I haven't done it. I have in the past. You can always easily get away with not using a small swivel. I've got a tiny Richworth swivel there. I've had for many years. I've got loads of them I bought for my tench fishing. You can get match style ones, but you can also use a large swivel, and that can almost act as if it's a weight as well. So rather than have a weight on the line, you can actually put a larger swivel on now. Now, we understand that perch are really finicky and they're really clever, they're small, but I find, depends on the venue, I find where we're going at the moment, the perch they're in deep water, there are pockets of them, okay, in certain stretches there's loads of them. Lots of perch I think are going to be very competing. They're going to compete for the bait, so they're not going to be worried about the rig so much. They're just going to compete for it, and they're going to just, whoever gets it first basically, and that's a proven evidence that perch do that. Perch, they fly, they literally fly for the bait, and the others follow it. And sometimes when you're bringing a perch in and you've hooked it, the others follow it up. It's just what happens, and I've seen it happen on the Thames actually quite a lot. Let's talk about the heavy lines now. Yes, we all know that people like to use lighter lines for perch, and I'm an advocate of light lines, but what I find, especially this year, and it's really questioned me into using it, is that lighter lines, like 4s and 5 pound lines, I find they tangle a lot, especially with a Paternoster. I find they tangle a hell of a lot, and if you've got 4 3 pound line and
the live bait's moving up and down like that, and it gets above the float, it can tangle around it and all sorts. I just find with the thicker line, like any thicker line, especially with pike fishing, that tends to happen less. But obviously with pike fishing, wire trace. I do have wire traces, 15 and £10 wire trace singles made up in my bag. I can always, if I'm getting pike trouble, go straight onto them. I don't want to be losing pike. We both know the teeth of, and I say both, me and Jack, we've discussed it. The teeth of a pike is different to the teeth of a zander. Zander have got cone teeth. They're not serrated. They've got a bony jaw, which was evident yesterday. This is actually the rig I lost the fish on. I thought if that hook come back and it was severed, there was no hook there and the line was severed, it would have been pike. The fact that it's come back like that is also testament to the fact that I think it was a zander. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in my conclusion. Going to have to stop. Bear with me because I've just got someone at the door. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, sorry about that. I've just come back. I just had a delivery of my second Fox Specialist 9-foot rod. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I had one come through and it snapped during the delivery, so I was just waiting for the second one to come through. It's just come through now. Also some birthday presents from my dad. So sorry about that. Yeah, where was I? I was talking about the conclusion of the zander. So yeah, I said that I'm 85% sure it was a zander, and I had many different reasons as to why I think that was. And this is just one of the conclusions. The fact that that hook come back, you know, rather than didn't come back, if that makes sense, from when it threw the hook. Now, that's one of the reasons, other than how it played, the fact, the colour, the flash I saw, the size, it's just everything tells me zander. Jack, like I said, he's 50-50, but I think it's a zander. But anyway, if I'm having problems, I can always, like I say, go on to some type of wire trace or some sort of Kevlar coated wire, copper wire, that type of thing. There's many different ones out there. I experiment with all different ones. I've got thousands in my box and I can just change as and when I need to. So yeah, I was talking about the different lines and stuff. I like to use heavier lines just in case there is a larger fish that I have more chance to hook it. I'd rather forsake losing smaller fish but landing bigger ones. So yeah, just above that I've got a stop knot. People use different types of stop knots. You can use power gum, you can use different things, different materials. This is a Guru stop knot, fishing Guru stop knot. I like to use it. It's very tight against lighter lines, doesn't slip, fantastic. It's small enough to go through the rod tip eye rings as well, so you know you ain't got to worry about it, you know, when you're putting it through the eye, actually changing the depth without you noticing sometimes. But yeah, we was fishing at many different depths yesterday. We was fishing between, I don't know, 4 foot right down to 9-10 foot, various different parts of the river. We will find out what's best there. Like I said, it's our first trip. We will find out what's best there. But just wanted to show you, this is my take on my Go Anywhere live bait rover rig.
So, good morning. It's the day after the first Predator trip for live baits down perching at the Thames, down Kingston Way. Now, it's quite funny. We've done some deliberation, and me and Jack on the way home last night done a lot of talking about the day, what had happened through the events during the day, and it was a weird day. Now, I kind of run out of camera space and time and stuff like that, so my camera had gone off, battery had gone off, I'd used up all the memory, so basically what I'm doing is a bit of a conclusion to yesterday, this morning. Just made myself a cup of tea, the old pint mug. Thinking about it, it's a funny one. We had a couple of carp anglers next to us, and they was turning up, and there was more and more of them. It was getting really dark under the bridge. We couldn't see our floats. We was running out of live baits as well, so we decided to move up to the road bridge. By the road bridge, it's very bright, it's very colourful. There is lots of police walking around. There's people going for a drink. We got offered wine. It's quite funny. It's a completely, I don't know, 50 metres up. It's a completely different area. And also 50 metres down, you're in a park where it's really quiet. So we was kind of in the middle originally, between the two bridges. Yeah, Jack caught quite a few on live baits, done quite well. I didn't, but what I did have was a blistering tape. Well, I call it blistering, it was weird. I left my live bait out there and it was bobbing around. It didn't go under, but it had some erratic behaviour. Now the live baits were they were moving on a current under the bridge, under the railway bridge. We couldn't keep them still because we was using roving live baits. Normally in that situation I'd use a paternoster. But with a paternoster, oh it's nice. With a paternoster, they tend to keep the baits where you want them to be. But with a free roving I find that they're really good because they search the fish for you. And it also gives you a nice positive bite indication. Now it's funny, Jack had a couple of perch and then all of a sudden my float was behaving really funny and I thought, oh, maybe it's tethered up on the bottom because the bottom's a bit like an egg crate where we was fishing, there was snags there as well. So I decided to bring it in and I felt I snagged the bottom. And as I was pulling it in, all of a sudden I could feel something moving. It was really weird and I was using a 1.25 pound Avon rod. A Technium Specialist rod. It's about 20 years old now. It's a fantastic rod. And as I was bringing it in, he went, "You got a fish?" And I know, it's kicking. I didn't tell him because I didn't want to look an idiot. I thought I might have had a big carrier bag or something. But when a carrier bag full of rubbish and waste on the bottom. But as I was bringing it in, I felt it kick, and I thought, "Oh, I've got a big fish on here." Now I didn't expect it to be a big perch because I'd expect that to kick more dramatically than what it was kicking. Now, my first thought was a pike, and then I thought, nah. As we got it up to the surface, just below the surface, it flashed. And I did mention this, I think, in one of the videos, one of the clips previous on this video, and it just literally, the flash of green. Now, it had a bit of gold tinge to it and that as well. Now, I'm 85% sure it was a zander. And if it was a zander, it was probably between 5 and 8 pounds in the length it was showing under the water when it flashed. Just the way of the behaviour of the fight as well, as and when I hooked it, and when I hooked it and I pulled it in, I just didn't believe it was a pike. I thought it was a pike from the take. The heavy, cumbersome drawing it in, probably the fish didn't even realise it was hooked, but it wasn't. It was definitely, in my opinion, a zander. Circumstances surrounding it, it just, to me, it screamed out zander. I think I hooked a really nice zander. I'm not saying it was a double, but I reckon it was probably about 5 to 8 pounds, just a quick flash I saw of it. Jack kind of's a bit 50-50 on it, but what it has done is that every time we've gone to the Thames, we've been shown that it's given us more information, more and more as we go, and it's given us more passion to want to get back down now. I was knackered when I got home last night, but I couldn't stop thinking about losing this fish. I know there's good zander there. I've done a lot of homework. I've done a lot of research. It's very secret squirrel. The river, along that stretch, is very secret squirrel, and rightly so. It should be. People work hard for their fish, so it should be secret squirrel. It should be that, people have good catches and they want to keep them to themselves. Now, me personally, I do feel that way. Now, I will tell you, I caught a pike, zander or perch at Kingston, at Tellington, at Hampton Court, whatever. But I'm not going to tell you to swim. I'm not gonna, that kind of thing. And if I did have a really decent fish, I probably would keep it secret. And the reason why I do that is because you work hard for them fish, and it's easy for someone to sort of come along and capitalise on what you've done. Now, I'm all for helping people as well, and I'm all for talking to people. I don't hold many secrets. I mean, I know I'm going off topic a little bit, but these are the sort of things I'm guessing whoever's watching this are probably going to start thinking about. Why is this bloke, telling everyone what he's doing? I'm new to the river as well, I'm doing it for my enjoyment. I'm not going to justify anything more about how it's working, but really enjoy it. I love talking to other anglers when we're down now. Someone comes up to me, "Alright mate, how you doing?" "Alright fella, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that." I love it. I think it's brilliant. I think anglers should communicate. We're all there for the same purpose. And if someone's sat next to me who I don't know catches a £25 pike, I'd be over the moon for them. I'd be absolutely over the moon for them, because that's how I think our angling should be. Now, I understand the secret squirrel side of it, but I think people just get a little bit funny about it. But that's enough of that. The trip was fantastic. Me and Jack can't wait to get back down there. It was my 4th trip, my first live bait trip, or our first live bait trip. We're trying to make it. I'm out of work at the moment, as I guess some of you already know. I'm being vetted for a security job. I've done all my training and that. Been out of work for a year. I am a fat, obese person, as you can see. I'm sure people are going to take the mick. I get it every day in my life. But I need to be out. I need to be moving. What better way than to go fishing, doing a lot of walking, doing a lot of exercise from it. So I'm at least going once a week, and it's going to get colder, it's going to get harder down there, but I'm so motivated to keep going to this place. And it cost me 12 quid a day to get there. And if you take lures, it costs you, it's free fishing on the bank. And if you take lures, you know, apart from maybe losing a few lures, it's not costing you nothing. So, yeah, we're using bait at the moment. So we're taking maggots down there and catching our own live bait, and little tiny perch, roach, minnows, that kind of thing. We're finding certain spots you can't catch them, or really hard to catch them, but I'm kind of experienced enough to know where to catch them now. Same with Jack, the little holding spots and that for them. So I'm excited to get back down there. There's loads of other swims at Kingston I want to try. We have talked about going up to Tennington, and we will work our way up there. It's a little bit further from the station, which is good. It's a nice little bit of walk. Want to go back to Hampton Court at some point, and we will mingle between the 3 of them. And when the summer comes next year, we're planning on taking lures and then walking the stretches between Kingston and Hampton Court, so on and so forth. So yeah, it seems like the emphasis as well. I've been looking at a lot of angling press at the moment. Seeing the emphasis on the Thames. It seems to be coming that a lot of people are fishing it now. So I'm really excited about things. I know there's some big fish there. Like I say, I've done a lot of homework, and I've come to a conclusion that it's my new favourite venue at the moment. There's some specimens to be caught there, and it's a little bit different from our usual halt, a bit further back up. I mean, me and Jack have been fishing the Docklands for a long time, the southeast Docklands. I'm not talking about Canary Wharf Docklands. We've been fishing there a long time. For the perch, pike and zander there. It's kind of dried up a little bit. I'm not saying they're not there, it's dried up and it's hard going. And that's one of the reasons why we pretty much try in the Thames. Now, I've wanted to fish the Thames since I was younger, a lot younger, but I've never had no one to go with. And I always thought it was a bit of a nightmare to get there. But to be fair, it's worth the effort through train, tube and buses to get there. Try and keep things minimal, try and keep things light. I took my first 12-foot rod yesterday, and getting it on a tube and the bus was a little bit of a nightmare. So I've kind of learned from that experience that you don't really need to take a 12-foot rod on that river. I think you could get away with 11, 10 foot, even 9 foot. Jack was using the Fox specialist rods yesterday, Predator specialist rods, and I originally bought one 9 foot. They're beautiful little rods, perfect perch rods, but big enough. I think strong enough that they could handle a zander and pike not quite easily, but if you're careful and you're experienced. So yeah, he used 2 of them with some Stradex. Beautiful little setup, lovely little setup, and I'll certainly probably be taking mine next time. I've just ordered a second one, so I'll have a pair as well. I did originally buy them so I can do live baiting in the docks, and it's easy for me to carry them, but they are a joy to have fish on. I've caught, on my original one, I caught a few live baits down the docks on them. Over Canada water, and yeah, they feel absolutely fantastic. We're a little half pounder, so if you get £2 perch on it, they're going to feel beautiful. So I can't wait to give them a real go. It's going to be it's exciting times, the Predator season. I will apologise for the quality of these videos, by the way. I want to throw it out there. Yesterday I did say that I had nightmares. You'll probably hear me say, oh, I've had a nightmare. I didn't really explain what the nightmares was. The nightmare, one of the major nightmares, is that I stayed up late messing around, tinkering with things, and I fell asleep when I got up late. But the biggest nightmare was that I left my camera running all night on the charge, so I've got the battery fully charged the next day. The problem is that
the holder that the battery goes into, the charger, wasn't working. It's either that or the battery, and the battery is completely annihilated. It's absolutely useless. It's rubbish. It's not working properly. Put it in the camera, and there was no, there was hardly any bar on now. It was on the red flashing. It was like absolute nightmare. Now, my SLR camera, I have used and I have filmed on it before, and it does some beautiful filming. So I apologise to you guys who are watching this that this is all done on a Samsung compact camera, and I'm using a face screen at the moment. I think it's a P150. I've had it a couple of years, and I bought it for taking self shots when I'm fishing, and I'm using that at the moment, and the quality might not be there, and I do apologise for that. And also dialogue, the way I talk, you know, this is a first video for me, and the nerves are there, and obviously I'm not going to make a perfect production to start with, but this is my first video, so I'm hoping that this is going to be the start of something good. I think when I get some better filming equipment, maybe get to some venues and actually put some really good fish on the bank. I know that what me and Jack have shown you so far on this video are only small perch, and we've only been talking about small perch. It's just for me to show you that this is my first video and this is the quality at the moment. But I do promise you, please stick with me. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some decent fish. I've had decent fish in the past. I do have a Facebook page, and I have uploaded pictures on there, and there are some decent fish. Just to prove, you know, not that I should have to prove, but just to prove that I can catch fish. So yeah, that's kind of the conclusion. The last thing I want to say is, do we go back to the Thames? When are we going back to the Thames, and what we're going to do? We haven't really decided. We was going to go back to the docks before that gets really cold, because it doesn't fish well in the cold. Before it gets really cold, maybe next week, just to give it a go, and then maybe back a week after at the Thames, or the appetite of getting back to the Thames, we might even go next week. But Jack was talking about big lures, taking big lures down there. Me, I'm a baiter. I love lure fishing, but I'm a baiter primarily. So do I take lures, do I take bait? I think bait at the moment is going to get us the fish that we need. I think we just have to be patient. It's all about patience. And eventually, yeah, it will come. But I just want to say thanks for watching. This is the end of my first video, and please give it a like. I know it's not going to be perfect, but please give it a like. Please stay with me. Please stick with me. I will put out better videos. I will feature some of my other friends. I will be doing trips on my own as well. Dialogue will be better. Quality of videos will be better. I do promise you that. So please stick with me, and thanks very much. Peace out.